It's a general observation that not as many high-profile jockeys follow the sport into training anymore. It could be due to inflated prize money, with many big names banking enough to tide them over during their retirement years. Or maybe it's because training has become a more complicated game than it used to be. So what lies in store for Douglas as he makes that transition? We speak to those who should know, as they've already walked that path: Michael Roberts, Gavin van Zyl, Garth Puller and Dennis Bosch. Garth, does a successful jockey make a successful trainer?
In my opinion, not necessarily.
You do get them, and you do get some that fail.
It's not a hard and fast rule that if you're a champion jockey, you'll be a champion trainer. Definitely not. I've seen some brilliant jockeys become very, very good trainers. The names that come to mind are Tony Cruz, Freddie Head. And then there's some brilliant jockeys that I rode with, Willie Shoemaker, Lester Piggott and others, that never made it. So there's no rule. Successful jockeys can make successful trainers, and they can also fail as trainers.
It's a big difference. You get natural riders that are very good, talented riders that would probably never make a good trainer. There's a lot of things that go into training that you wouldn't see and you wouldn't be involved with as a jockey.
Training is so wide spectrumed that you don't have to be a jockey to be a good trainer, and we've seen that with many people around the world.
Is it harder to be a trainer, in your view, than a jockey?
Trust me, about 10,000%. When you're a jockey, you rely on your own skills, your own hard work, your own work ethic, and your own ability.
As a jockey, I'd have a suitcase and a saddle, and that was it. And I could bounce around the whole world, which I did. As a trainer, very, very different. You don't have a suitcase and a saddle.
When you're a trainer, there's a lot of other things that come into it.
A business is as good as the people that you employ, and particularly training, and particularly for a young trainer being a jockey and moving into the training ranks. I think half the battle is won if you get the right people in the stable yard, because managing the stable and the yard, the well-being of the horse is probably 80% or 90% of the job, and picking up injuries early, and often, that's all done at the yard.
If you don't put your heart and soul into this game, you take one step back, things happen in this game. Horses get sick, lame.
Is it a 7-day-a-week, 365-day-a-year job?
Definitely so. I mean, I leave home at 3:30 in the morning and I go home at 6:30 at night. And the horses have to be exercised, have to be fed, have to be looked after every day.
And there are other skills too.
You have to have skills in people relationships. You have to be able to pick a young horse, which again is, I think, an art on its own. But I think that half the job, or 3/4 of the job of a trainer, is actually done at the yearling sales, where you pick your horses. And then you've got to be able to manage your own as well, and take your losses, and be able to help the owners take the losses. If I was a golfer and I missed a putt for the Masters, it's me that's missed the putt for myself. As a trainer, if I lose a race, I haven't lost it for myself, I've lost it for my owners. And so that becomes the difficult part of training, is to manage the disappointments for your clients.
What have been the highs?
Well, obviously winning, and to see a nice horse coming through.
For each of us out there training racehorses, it's a challenge. It's a challenge between yourself and the animal, and proving that you can actually get that animal to peak condition.
It's a great feeling, I must say, and great satisfaction, to get the horse there.
The highs have been winning the Group 1 races. I've been fortunate to win 7 Group 1 races and over 35 Group and listed races. So I've been very blessed in my career. It's very hard to get a horse from the beginning stages, from that point where I said buying horses at the yearling sales, to standing in a winner's box of a Group 1 race. I think as long as you feel that you've got a future Group 1 winner in your string, you'll always keep trying.
Douglas tells me that he might even ride some of the horses that he's going to train initially. Did you do that in the early part of your training career?
Yes, I did, but the only trouble with that is, you can only actually watch the horse that you're working with, or your own horse. So, if you've got a string of 50 horses, it's very difficult, because it'll take you the whole day to work them if you're going to start riding work. But the important ones, I think it's worthwhile, getting on.
One of the great trainers, Stanley Gorton, one day poked Mr. Caname in the ribs. And while I was riding for him, I said to him, "What are you, a trainer or a jockey?" He said, you know I'm a trainer. He said, well, then stand on the ground, watch your horses work, listen to what the jockeys say, and you make up your mind from what you saw and the report back that you got from them. You'll know who exaggerates and how much they exaggerate, and you'll get a medium from that, and then you'll know how your horses are.
I wonder, Dougie must need his head read, to be honest with you.
I think he will be successful. He's one of those guys that will be successful.
There's no reason why you shouldn't make it as a trainer. Personally, I think you will.
I think he'll make a success with it because, you know, like I say, you know, he's very dedicated to, you know, to what he's doing, you know, as a jockey, and he's done so well.
Do I think that he'll do well at it? I think he will. I think Dougie's a horseman. I think he's a natural. I think he's very determined, very driven. Gets along well with people. He's got a good persona with you know, with people. He's very well liked in Hong Kong, very popular. So he'll get the support that he needs. He's been a great ambassador for South African horse racing. It'll be a fantastic advert for South African horsemen, for him to be able to take it to the next level and to prove that we produce in South Africa not only great jockeys but great horsemen and great trainers. So I wish him all the success. We want him to come and buy our horses here. So yes, Dougie, you know, do well and come and buy South African bloodstock. The breeders and those of us that are looking to trade welcome it with open arms.